Everyone, welcome back again, osazeecorner. I'm your host, Osaze. So before we get into the video, I would ask if you could kindly subscribe to the channel. If you're new on here, please subscribe if you like fragrance content. I'm hoping to put out more content this year on fragrance related topics, and depending on how the year goes, I'm hoping to expand into other stuff. So hit a subscribe button and join the family. And if you're returning, thank you very much for returning. I appreciate your loyalty. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to hear me yap about fragrances. But anyways, let's get into the video. So today's video is about a fragrance, as you will see in the title. This is one of those fragrances that made me start this channel. When I decided that I wanted to start reviewing fragrances, it was because there were some fragrances out there in the market that I couldn't get reviews on. I wanted to be able to jump on YouTube, jump on the internet and find some people talking about it, reviews on them. But this one was hard to get much reviews on YouTube. I think at the time there were just one unboxing review, and on Fragrantica there were a couple. But now it's seeming to look like this fragrance is getting out there in popularity and more people are catching up onto this. So I decided, you know what, I'll bring you my review on Cuir Majeste from Giorgio Armani. So what is the story about this fragrance for me? I have heard about this fragrance at least almost 2 years back, maybe 18 months. And like I said in the intro, I looked around, tried to get a lot of reviews on it. At that time, I couldn't get a lot of reviews. No one was giving a detailed review. There were a bunch of reviews on Fragrantica, and then later I found some more reviews on Instagram when I became more active on Instagram. But one thing that I noticed about this fragrance in terms of reviews was, in the first time in my life as a fragrance head that I've seen as much reviews as I saw, maybe about 20 reviews, but there was absolutely no critical review. Like, everyone gave it 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, amazing, stunning. And that was odd, because prior to that, you will always find someone say, overrated, expensive. I guess those sort of people didn't catch on to this fragrance or didn't buy this fragrance, but I was really intrigued and curious by that. So last year around June, July, I was able to finally do the logistics gymnastics to get this into my collection. So I've owned it for at least half a year. I've worn it about a dozen times within that period. I'm even wearing it a little bit more now that we're in the cooler seasons. And what can I say about Cuir Majeste? We'll start off quickly. I'm just going to run through the notes. The notes are a little bit different on Harrods website than it is on Fragrantica. You know, on Harrods the notes are incense, osmanthus, leather, May rose, oud, vanilla. And in Fragrantica, it's all of that plus leather, ambroxan, moss, oak moss, and tobacco. And who do we trust, Harrods or Fragrantica? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Whatever you get from this is whatever you get from this. So what do I get from this as the main players? Based on what I get when I smell this fragrance, the main players for me are the incense, the osmanthus, the rose. The May rose is very prominent. Not very prominent, but it's prominent. You can really pick it out for me. So the May rose, the osmanthus, the incense, and I want to say the tobacco, but I could just be mixing it up with, you know, the incense. It could just be that smokiness, but it has such a very dry sort of woody profile, which makes me think, is that the oud or is that the moss? I'm guessing Fragrantica put moss in there because from somewhere they got that information that there's oak moss in this fragrance. So this is a dry, smoky leather scent that has some sweet nuances, some smoky nuances, and it is very, very elegant in how it is done. It is, for one, it doesn't project like a beast. It is pretty reserved, maybe a little bit too reserved if you ask me. I wish the performance on this fragrance in terms of a sillage and longevity was at least 25% more. And then that will stop me from having to overspray this. But this is the kind of scent that you cannot overspray because it has this sort of very ethereal quality in the fragrance. Not see-through, but it is very light and airy. It's not dense, it's not heavy, which adds to that sort of mystic, I don't know if the word is mystic, but that sort of gentle, mysterious aura that you smell it and it just smells like someone that is, you know, effortlessly being majestic in their personality and in the way they carry themselves. And that's what I sort of get with this fragrance. And the all black bottle with the gold or with the gold accents really captures that sort of classiness of the fragrance. So you get a very dry tobacco leather fragrance, and the osmanthus is prominent. It's very well blended. You can pick out a bunch of things, but everything sort of balances each other out. So it's very hard to say it's just one note because it's very dry, which could be from the oak moss, but from the tobacco also, because tobacco can have that dryness. It has that sort of fruity sweetness in there, which could be from the dried fruits, as said on Fragrantica, or it could also be from the osmanthus, which is like a peachy floral sort of note. So multiple things could be creating the same effect for something, but in this fragrance, what I will say is very classy, not a huge beast performer. So if you're into heavy fragrances, beast performance, 8+ hours, 10+ hours, 12+ hours, you're not gonna get it here. You're gonna get something more reserved, under the 8-hour mark, and probably around 4 to 5 hours. You get a decent projection that I get when I'm smelling this. And then after that 4 or 5 hours, I need to sort of dig my nose into my arm or wherever I sprayed it to find it out. And you spray it on your clothes, you're good. It doesn't stay on your clothes for weeks on end like some really stronger perfumes. So that is the story that I have with Cuir Majeste Armani Prive. One thing that I will add about Cuir Majeste Armani Prive is, to me, at least, this is not unique. I know another fragrance that smells at least 90 to 95% like this. And if you have a chance of sampling that one or getting that one, I would implore you to do so. And that one is Bois 1920 Oro from the house Bois 1920. It is one of the first niche fragrances that I had, and I sold it a couple years ago, and I've always wanted it back after a while because I missed it. It was really a good fragrance. That one also performs similarly to this one, maybe a little better. There's some differences. That one is a little bit more on the aggressive side with the leather. It has myrrh, which gives it a little bit more powderiness. If you smell Bois 1920, they have sort of a DNA running through the house. There's a sort of distinct strength in your fragrances. So that one has a more bolder, stronger personality, but still maintains the same ethos of this. So for Cuir Majeste Armani Prive, definitely one to check out if you're ever in the location of a Harrods. But the question now becomes, because it's a Harrods exclusive and you can only get it at a Harrods store, meaning you can only get it in the UK, is it worth, you know, spending the 200? I think it's about $260 US now. a little bit up from when I bought it. I would say, you know, don't chase it. It's not sort of like a holy grail, like it's exclusive. You know, you're seeing your favorite Instagram influencer talking about how amazing this is. You need to go try it. I would say don't chase it, because I feel, especially the scent itself, really good. It's not super versatile. I will get to when I wear this or when I see it's very appropriate for this. It's not super versatile, so you wouldn't get a lot of wear out of this, depending on your lifestyle though. And for me, it barely passes the performance scores for me. Like if I'm ranking, because I'm not really the kind of person that puts performance over scent, but there's sort of like a threshold, a minimum level that my fragrance needs to perform to for me to justify buying the fragrance, especially at this high point range. And that this fragrance barely passing that, it takes a little bit away. But I understand there's some fragrances that were created to draw people in, that are created to create more like a skin scent, something that is your aura and something that is you, that you walk past someone and they turn their head, and not something that is, you know, turning someone's head from across the room. And this is what this fragrance does. It becomes like that just scent bubble, and people walk past you and they get closer to you, and that's when they really smell it. I wish the longevity was more. That was what I wished. I wish the longevity was more, and I wish the projection lasted just a couple hours more. So for that main reason and at that price, I wouldn't, you know, be telling anyone you must try this. If you ever get a chance to come across it, you try it, see how you like it. And that's the story with this. So I mentioned not really versatile. Now this one is nice enough that you can wear all year round. Definitely all year round, this one will work for anyone, because it's not that heavy that you can wear it in the summertime, and it's a perfect sort of fall, cool weather sort of scent. It's leather, it's tobacco, it's dried fruit, it's incense. That's cool weather fragrances all day long. But it's also light, and like I said, light enough for you to wear in the warmer months. Where it's not versatile for me is, this is a special fragrance. This is a night out sort of fragrance. You're going to an event, night out, where you want to wear a nice, you want to dress, you want to be a little bit more upscale, or you're going on a date where you want to feel a little bit more sexy. That tobacco, leather, incense, that smoky, dry, sweet fragrance is where this one comes into play. It's not something that I'm in the mood to wear for in the day casually, or, you know, running around town. It's not for me for that reason. It's more of I want to sort of make a statement to the people around me. Then I pull for this one. So because of that, it sort of takes away from the versatility for this. But obviously, if you like it enough, you can wear it anytime you want it. But anyways, that is my review of Cuir Majeste Armani Prive. If you try this fragrance, it's getting a little bit out there now. A couple of people are learning about this and are curious about this. You tell me what you think about the fragrance. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. And if you're still here at this point, please subscribe. You watched through the whole video, you might as well hit the subscribe button. Thank you. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching. I will be back again with some more videos. You know, you can leave some recommendations. I've had some people leave some recommendations, and I've taken everything everyone has recommended to me on board. I just need to be able to execute it the way it is in my head, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and that is probably why I don't put out a lot of videos, because I have recorded a bunch of videos and I'm rewatching them while I'm editing, and I just don't feel happy with them, and then they never see the light of day. But hopefully this one is seeing the light of day, and you're liking it and you're subscribing. So thank you, cheers, have a good day everyone, salute.